It's 3. I've been up, I don't know, 40 minutes or something. I swear to God, as soon as I get up, the dogs is like, it's my turn, get my stuff. So then as soon as I sit down, I saw a couple of videos, but I haven't, because I haven't really seen any for a few days, but what I've seen is, Donald is picking all these new people. It's like we have all these new people coming into the game for most of us, but I think this is like the white hat kind of thing, like a dream team kind of thing. Everything is going to be about exposing things, about the criminal stuff, and I don't know, maybe some of it's going to be these new people exposing stuff. I don't know how it's all going to play out, but it's going to be all of these exposing and arresting people. But these people will kind of be the transition people, because everybody still, I know we're going towards this time where we're not having heads over large groups of people like that. Like all these, all everywhere, like for the prime ministers, the royals, the dictators, the presidents, all of the stuff is all, just leaders. That's one thing over the last 4 years too, that it has really been showing. It's showing here now, and I know I'm under blue leadership, and so the fight, and there's helicopters going over a lot, and all this stuff over the past 4 years was really highlighting to the people paying attention over the connection between the different government officials that were corrupt. It's like the corrupt government officials formed a web, and their web was deadly, and it was really big. That was like the dark that grew so much, and then the light, the people who wanted to do good or be honest or have integrity, they were being overshadowed, and then their frustration grew due to the mass manipulation, and because of where they've taken it. They've not taken anything towards good for society. Everything is to destroy, cause destruction, make us sick, keep us in division, keep us sad. So all of that stuff. So that is when they were like, they've got to do something. We got to turn the frauds off. We got to get rid of these getters and get them out of here. And so they started forming their own plan, and supposedly it was a long time ago. Like, I think it was around, supposedly this has a lot of links to JFK, that's when they started taking shit serious of like, we got to do something. I think there was a certain sense of corruption and stuff throughout, but it is like, it's always like when somebody starts waking up, when somebody starts having integrity, when somebody starts having morals, when somebody starts questioning something, and that energy changes. So I'm sure through all these different periods of times, there's been these different fluctuations. But in this one, it's linked into this whole awakening process. And so it started a long while ago where they started making the plan to take out the dark people. And the dark people have been kind of slapping them in the faces, and like red tying them and all that stuff. I swear to God, I know that's why I wear red tie all the time. And so they became a battle, and it was going on like underneath our noses, like we didn't know. And the dark side has so much evil involved because there was so much with human stuff, like what they use people and stuff. Like it's just so dark. And I don't think that the people, any of us, like most of us, when we find out, it keeps us up at night, and not because we're excited. So I think most of us is like, how can this kind of evil exist, man? And it's a soul awakening. It was like soul crushing. And so it's like a kick in your soul. And so the depravity and stuff surfacing is just it's like beyond most of our comprehension. And so it is I think that there was a lot of people, like I think when he said he had no idea how because it was like, I'm gonna clean out the swamp or something. It was a long time ago what he was saying. And then when he got in, and people kept saying, because everybody wanted Hillary arrested, but they had to show how much power the corruption had over us, so it had to play out. Like, it's still, I mean, even though she's been and gone, but that's to the people who pay attention. To everybody else, she's still out there rocking it. And so she's gonna, so they have to play it out to show the people how bad these people are. But that is going to be this part where this, like, the light now is going to just shine everywhere. It's just going to be the light. It's going to come in. And this is like, it's like the precursor or something. It's like he's like a cheerleader. It's like getting everybody pumped up. It's like the pep team, before a football game, the pep rally. That's what it's called, the pep rally. Oh yeah, he does this rally. So, but it's also like a revival, because it gets us to remember back to our souls and connecting and being excited about things and stuff. So it's breaking programming and stuff, but it's the souls that crave it or want it or something in those souls. And that's why these other ones that are so resistant, we got to watch how it plays out. I think, they're playing roles. It has to play out. So anyways, it's just interesting, really, when you watch it on these different levels and watch how the things move around, play out. But so he's got all these, it's like the light bringers, and he's lining them up and bringing all these people on. They're all these gorgeous people all walking out. Like, he's putting all these, this one I just saw, I don't even know who the hell she is, like Dakota. No, it wasn't. I don't know, where's Tulsi? What isn't she from one state? Is it the North Dakota or South Dakota or something? Their governor. She's really pretty. And she looks like a fucking model or something. And it just showed her, one of them accepting some kind of thing. He's putting all these people in place. Some people I have never heard of. But it's going to be, I don't think that the people he's putting in place at this point in this movie series that we're in, or whatever you want to look at it, that these are going to be people being exposed. Like Pence, that guy was being exposed. I don't think, I hear some people saying, like, that this is, JD is deep state, this is a guy in a mask, they already took him out. I don't know. I just kind of think JD probably has a story. He has connections to Hollywood. He has connections to the mountains, and I think most folk from the mountains, because that's what his Hillbilly Elegy is about, is what the effects of the opiate crisis out there, and so it gives you a real look at the real people and what happened. And then when you bumper it up with some other things like Dope Sick and stuff, like, you get a bigger picture. But anyways, I would say he's more of somebody who's coming in to bring, carrying the light on something. And that's, to me, also like the key holders. The key holders are bringing in the light. They're bringing in some kind of insight. Something, something is being, the light being shined on it through this people's knowledge or information or energy, or however it's going to go. And so that's why I think he is more. I think Donald before was, last time he was setting a bunch of people up. And then I don't know that all of them knew they were being set up, and some people were already being in masks and stuff. I just can't imagine that some of these people who deal with these people every day can't notice. And that's what gets me on all these reporters and stuff, when they act like these people are the same people. It's like, it's weird. It's like, y'all are a part of it, or you're retarded. Like, something's wrong. Like, I'm not sure what the fuck. And so so I don't know, is that just, but really, it makes more to the movie So there's just a lot of stuff to watch it play out and see in what direction. But it, for sure to me was that the first part was, do I have your attention, please? And it was very much where he took on, because they created the TDS, which I'm sure that they knew that this was going to happen. And I think even to have a name for it. So they, because there's even been a commercial. He's got a commercial for it, or I've seen a lot of things, people doing like a drug commercial for the TDS. It's funny, but anyways, so he got in the first time, got our attention with all his stuff, and they kept telling us he was evil, he's bad, and all that stuff. And so they were stressing a lot of people out, like, fuck, man, you're gonna have a even worse president now. Like, fuck, it hadn't been bad enough. Now we're gonna have somebody who just blatantly wants to destroy America. But then he got in there and he started walking the walk, and it wasn't the walk they said he was gonna walk. And but they would grab onto all of his stuff and create sound bites to keep the general public looking in a different direction. And so I, along with a lot of other people, stayed like thinking this guy is a total doofus. He's fucking shit up. But really what he was doing in there was taking a stand. Like when he went around to all those other countries, he went in there and because he went to like Davos or something. He went to all these different things, and he was already this was all a setup. And so he was it's like a, you know how a dictator and their whole group, they'll just put him in. So it was like, and they are dark. Well, it was like the light. So this was their person now. And it was going to create a conflict, but it's weird because it was like the light creating the conflict, but the people couldn't see that yet because there's so much in the cave. And so, yeah, he's like the canary. And so he was already doing stuff though. He was situating things. He was bankrupting things. He was writing laws and stuff where they had themselves, because he could see, he understood some stuff with business stuff. That's why I said there's going to be a lot of these business attorneys, corporate attorneys, certain kind of attorneys and stuff that would have to do with law and stuff or something. A lot of them, I think, are going to be in trouble. Everything is going to be, because it has so much to do with intention, but people, there are a lot of people who went dark, had a lot of opportunities to show, like they've shown the universe. So it's like repercussions, like consequences. It's time to pay the piper for your actions. And so he was changing the energy already at that point, and then and taking people down, but it was real like low key. And then and they kept making all this big stuff, but he was doing that all before the sickness. So it was like he had to be super focused. He had a couple years. He knew the sickness was coming, and that he knew what was going to be going down. So he was like, gotta get this done, this done, this done. And it was global, and it was all like the NSA was like, this is the evidence, and you can either start riding with us and extend your, or you can go with us now. It's up to you. And a lot of I guess apparently said, where's the script? So they went that way, but some didn't. And some took the way out and were like, fuck you. You know, because supposedly Barack was very much like that, and Hanks too. And so, and then they just put somebody in that looks like you, so they don't give a fuck. It's like you have an opportunity to clean up some of your karma, to do some good deeds and try and turn things around, and they weren't interested in that. And so, but some were. I mean, some, you know, it's just like everything is all gradients of all energies, of all perspectives, of everything. So we can't just go, oh, well, it's because of this, it's just that. And no, it's like because it's about a zillion things. So you don't want to get too hung up. And, oh, it's this for this, so it's that for everybody else. This is the way. Everybody join in. It's like, no. Everybody has their own unique things and situations happening and occurrences, because that's what the fucking universe depends on. is that everybody's is very different, even if it's slightly different. But it gives us all a different way of seeing things. It's like, okay, so the visual would be, if all of us were a mirror, and it is like, it's the same thing with the mirrors turning, but it is, it's like, if you think of all of the mirrors shining out for their perspective to create the picture, to create the design, so they're all shining out with their perspective, creates it. Then if you have like two that don't see, that two that are the same, then it creates like a little dead spot or something. So it's like the universe wants you to be yourself, wants you to be unique, wants you to be comfortable being you. So that is I think that's why so many people feel so uncomfortable and anxious. It's because they're hiding from themselves. And once they start, evolving with themselves, they start uniting, or what is that? It's like bringing together, merging their higher self and themselves, like their soul side and their dark side, and they start merging that, they're not going to feel as anxious, because things are going to make more sense, because there's so much deceit. My hair's dirty. I did spray some powder, put the powder still on it, but I could not believe, like, it was barely, it just always is so trippy, because I go in the bathroom, it's like, fuck, man, that's almost gone. And I'll come out here and it still lights up with the light. But it is, man, it's barely there. It's crazy. I'm so excited. I think it's going to just all of a sudden just be like on here, because the light keeps doing it. I don't know. It might, because to me, like, it's so much, like, I don't know how it does that. Like, it's trippy. Because in the bathroom, it looks like more like this. And then I come out here and put this on, it's like, whoa. It's like, it catches the light or something. I don't know. It's trippy. So anyways, okay, let me think of what all is on the bathroom. We're still, he just got the, what you call it? The underfloor, subfloor. He just got the subfloor on. Everything has been a lot, because he's had to take out all the rotten wood and fix it and stuff. So, everything is like so much more solid now. He's like got a way better structure. But, and then he had to get the pieces on. But now, because what they did in this bathroom, I don't even know. It's like adding on to the house or something, and then doing it separate. And so, I don't know. They did something weird. And so, just like 3 different heights of subfloor or something. So that's what he's trying to mess with now, because in order to put the floor down, so he's trying to get it all level and like that. So today is to get it level, and then I think once that's all done, and he's using some kind of leveling stuff that has to dry, and so once that gets done, then the floor should go on pretty easy, because it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and you don't have to guess on what pieces go together. And so I think that'll go quick. I got it painted except for the top of the shower. I got to get in there, because the bathtub was full of things. I got to get in there and really clean that, and I'm going to clean all the tile. So all the tile and all the grout, I'm going to clean it with some kind of grout cleaner, and then I got some kind of grout repair stuff too. And then I'm going to repair all the grout for any of the little parts that look funky. Well, I'm just going to do the whole thing, so it just looks more fresh. And everything, like, oh my God, I cannot believe how much it changes the room and stuff. But what's so trippy too is him and I were both noticing that the air is so clean. It feels so much cleaner, but just the overall energy in the house feels lighter. Like, everything feels lighter. And it's like, man, that heaviness and that wetness, and then it doesn't smell. Like, there was like a mildewy smell or something, I think. But then after a while you get used to it. But it was but I think there was a really mildewy smell. It was the smell like when he was pulling that stuff up, only it was way more intense because there was nothing blocking it. And so, but still, it's like that mold or that wetness or whatever is like it's alive in your house, and it's like this heaviness or something. It was weird. It's really weird because it feels so much lighter, feels so much fresher. And so, anyways, I'm excited, and then just simple things like painting and redoing the tiles and stuff. It makes it because when I'm redoing the floor and stuff, and I don't have to get rid of the tub, which is a huge thing to me. It already had a newer toilet, and I just got a new washer and dryer thing. But it's so hard because it's tucked in this little place. So I'm gonna try and just paint, and it's gonna be a part behind it that I can't get to. Which, when I had told him about the dryer venting thing and how my dryer won't dry and all this stuff, and we were talking about it, he said that totally sounds like because he looked it up, and he said it's when you don't have enough energy to run the stuff, that's when it will do that. Like this weird code on my oven and stuff, that's why nothing's working. And I know it has to do with, because I said I didn't want that fucking smart meter. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna turn your power down. So I bet they turned everybody's down, but it's some other kind of thing, some other kind of frequency or something, and that's in the smart meter thing, and that's what causes cancer or something. So I don't know. It seems weird that they would just be able to just focus on one person's and turn it down, but I don't know how that place works. Oh yeah, and when I was doing the painting, I don't know if you can see it, I ordered handkerchiefs. The tissues are just fucking my nose, like, because it's the dripping all the time. And so it's giving these sores and stuff. But yesterday when I was painting, a lamp came down and hit me in the face. So I got like this bruise. It goes like, brr. I don't know if you can see it very good, but anyways, if you see it like that, this is a bruise from, it hurt too. Like, fuck. I was like, God damn it. There was another thing too, it seems like yesterday. No, maybe that's the first time I got hurt in a while. Not really calling. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Because I was just thinking, what was that other thing? I felt like I was, but this was totally different. Because so this morning, because I have a total headache, and it's this band headache thing, and it was like one of the reasons why I couldn't even sleep. See, it's fucking raining. When does it ever fucking stop? It stops for a few minutes here, a few minutes there. It's like motherfucking swamplands in my yard, and what was I thinking about to say? Rain. So I ordered handkerchiefs. Gonna start using handkerchiefs. Bring back handkerchiefs. Like this post-nasal drip dystopian life we're living. Have tissues, because the ones they make give us the convenient ones about some paper or plastic or something, and then I think when it cuts into your skin, the nanos get in there. It's like, I don't need any more of your bots. I'm trying to get rid of all the bots out of me. I'm trying to get rid of all the poison. Get the fucking shit out. And so the tissues, and then wiping, and then getting the bots in there. But oh yeah, okay. So anyways, I got up and I was feeling like really crappy. Like every time I moved my head, it's like, ugh. I kind of want to just go to sleep, but you can't sleep good when you have this headache, and it just goes around like, and it's super uncomfortable. And so I was just being really stiff and stuff, and I was getting one of my cups of tea, and I was in the kitchen, and I started, it came into my mind about these things that these guys I see do. And so it's kind of like Wong Gong, I think it's called. But there's a lot of like white guys, a lot of people who are catching on to all this stuff. Because for me, this stuff came to me just in my, like I was just, doing something in the morning, just like this morning. Just comes to me, and I'm doing something, and it's like, start swinging your arms, just swing your arms and do this and do that. And I would be like, okay. So I started doing that. It's like, oh, kind of wakes you up, kind of gives you energy and stuff. And so then these videos would come, and it would be somebody doing it and talking about it. I was like, oh, see, that's why I say this energy's out there. it's like you don't have to hear something, you can hear it in here. And so then I started being like, oh, this is a real thing. So now I see lots of different ones, but the Wong, I think it's called Zhuanggong. It's something like Xiongong or something like that, but it's these practices. And there's one, if you look him up on YouTube and stuff, he's like a monk or something. And then there's a whole bunch of people doing all these different ones and different kinds and stuff. And so, but, and then I see some like Oriental guys like doing these ones, and they have their own, and little Oriental ladies doing it and stuff. Like, that's why I was saying, like, Eastern religion and stuff like this is, they have these certain practices, and we're just learning them. And there's people who are out trying to show them and stuff, but it's all in that kind of range. But so I was in there doing it, trying to release some of the energy to see if I could get the headache gone or whatever. And so I was doing these ones of some of the ones that these guys, I'd seen them, and like, let's see if I can sit back kind of, because like you are standing there and you do your arms, like you do both of them up and down, and you can tell a difference if you're doing them slow, or if you're doing them fast. Like you can, it does different things. So that's where you got to tune into yourself. Don't just do just like but these movements with your arms, but then also with them separated, and then big movements, and then and the Oriental ones, they have them go slap back and forth, and they do a little slap under their arm because it releases lymph. All of this releases energy, which gets caught up in people's lymph, and there's more and more stuff coming out about that too with the. How I talked about the filter system and stuff like that. There's more and more coming up with the CANCR trapped. So it's on different levels, because on one level, it's trapped stuff in your filter system, like parasites and stuff that creates a tumor. And on one, it's like energy that you can release this energy, but you gotta face also the stuff that's creating the energy. And you create, it's like your body holds on to energy all day long. And that's why you got to do these things. Like I said, these movements. You got to do movements to release the energy. And so I was doing some of those. And then it's also important to go down into a super low crouch. Get down low because you release all the lymph. You got to release it all the way down. And so you do the face ones. There's a bunch for your head and neck. And you do all these different things. Anywhere you rub and you feel like a tension, like right here, I can rub right here and I can feel a tension down here. So there's energy stuck, and it's all right back here where it's hurting, which I just saw a thing, and it was talking about men have an opening, a solar, I don't know, something right here on top of their head. It said men should wear man buns. That's the thing about the man bun up here, because it's like their little antenna to pull in more stuff. And it's something about their energy centers right there. But women's is right here, where is back where they said that you should wear a high ponytail, and that is your best, most optimum place for pulling in energy, or like that's your spot. And then right here below it, that's where the injury happened for my head and my neck. And it's also where my scoliosis is, which, and the only thing I've been able to see in the past lives is the conspiracy thing of being hung with, but for like something I didn't do, but kind of being the scapegoat or something for somebody else. Like there's something, where I got fucked over about it. So I don't know if I hold on to that tension or fear or something, but that is where I was thinking was the crunch in my neck, scoliosis thing. So I have injury and stuff there, and then I get re-injured in this life, and so there's a big thing I'm trying to work through. And you can sit and try, but it mostly is to be aware of how the things go, because it comes to you. And so I just try and make sure that I'm always open to what it is they're trying to show me. And so So anyways, on the movement thing, so you gotta do the movements and do these releases and move the energy through your body. And like I said, when you find these places, it's trapped energy. When you start rubbing, it's trapped energy, and you want to release it and move it. And so, so the arm ones, the head ones, the face ones, moving down, you got to move it down your neck is a big thing. I guess that is what causes a lot of people to start having like a really messed up in here is all that stuff. And so you got to do all of that, releasing, moving it down. And then I've seen people do these ones like moving it down here and moving it down here. Oh man, that felt like, but I've also been doing a lot, like I was in there breaking up the floor tiles and shit. There was sparks coming out like hammer. It was intense. It was like hitting in my face. I was like, fuck, I'm blind. It was intense. But I was like, this is what you need to do if you got a lot of tension or whatever in your body or anger. Go out and use it and release it. And so, so then, in the waist thing, so you do turns like this, and there's one guy, and he bends like over in half and then does these things and stuff. So you're gonna feel silly at first when you start doing it, but then it kind of feels fun. Kind of feels fun and silly, like it's fun to be silly. And so you just do all these kinds of things and really do it. So I was just going hard this morning, and Stella comes in her seat because I'm and trying to release this and doing all these things. And when she came in there and I stopped for a second, I was like, what? It was like the biggest head rush thing. I was like, fuck, is this what it's like to get high off oxygen or what the hell? It was intense. I couldn't believe it. It was like, whoa. And so I don't know if it is like a surge of oxygen, if it's a releasing of toxins, but it definitely, that thing about the energy begets energy. The more you make your energy, the more you create your own energy. So it really does start your morning out like, I'm sure it's more effective than a cup of coffee. You get up and you do all this stuff, and then, because you just get your motor running. That's what was kind of in my head, that song. But I don't know if it's get your motor running and get your minute. But that song, I can hear it, but I don't know if I said it right. But so anyway, so what he got in there and he started going and doing all this stuff low key, and it was pissing certain people off. And there were certain people, I think, that were getting a lot of phone calls. You better get something done. You better get something done. I think Pelosi was one of them. And she was losing her mind. And so, I would assume that because it seems like after J20 of 2020, then there was at that festival that they do at that ceremony. And, so many of us, I swear to God, I watched because I thought, oh, this is it. This is going to be a big drama. I was like, so funny because we come up with these things like, but really it is so much less. Like we're willing to accept so much less. We don't want all the big drama. Let's just go right there. Let's just rest. That's good enough. Let's rest them all right here and now. I swear to God, I was in that group of people who totally thought helicopters were going to come down and it's going to be this really cool drama. And when it wasn't, it's like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? What's happening? That's when you're tuning into Nino. Like, what the fuck, dude? Because he was so much like, through the whole thing. I still think he's a little bit like that. But I think he's getting a little bit more calm. But, yeah, it was intense, man, for even any of us who were awake. As soon as you were awake, and they started pulling these things out and these things out, and you start arguing with people. It's like, what the fuck is going on, man? And that so many of us were becoming so confused, like, what is happening? And you try and tell somebody something, and it was like they couldn't get it, they couldn't understand. Everybody starts looking at you like you're fucking crazy, and then you start telling you you're crazy. It's like, this is so weird. So the reality was already splitting. You had to choose the split the whole time. You had to choose you the whole time. You couldn't go back. I've heard so many people say, once you wake up, it kind of sucks because you can't go back. It's true, you can't go back. And you just keep seeing what you see. And it's like, it's different what everybody else sees. And it's like on a different level where you just seem like, what are you even paying attention to that for? What are you even talking about? It's like, yeah, it's right there. Why can't you see? See, those are our challenges to our healing and stuff, so that we can become our own, stand alone. This is what I see. You can see, I can share what I see, but it's not, I'm not going to change and be like, stop seeing what I see. I'm supposed to see what I see. And I'm not going to feel ashamed about what I see. I'm going to be real and honest. Yeah, it's a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. That's, how we all are. We all are navigating our own darkness and creating the being we want to be. And it changes all the time. That's the thing, too. Don't get all hung up on, you got to be this certain way, because you're going to change. I guarantee you. Something's going to happen somewhere down the next week, next few days, next month. It's going to change your fucking perspective. And it can be one conversation with somebody. So you got to be open to change. You got to be open-minded and not be so like, this is what I am and this is all I am and shut the fuck up. And so many people became that. There's labels and stuff like that. And so those are the things where you got to like let him go and stuff. But so when he came in, and he was, the first 4 was a whole thing, like get it done, get these things written to change the rules. And that is, but it was also, they had to expose, they had to navigate who had whose back. And that, I think, they started seeing some of the people were double agent kind of things. Like there was a lot of stuff, I think, where the people showed that they were darker or their connections, but it was kind of like they were doing that so that they could see all the connections. It's like they had to shine a light on it to see where the cockroaches went, and then they went into those areas. And so once Joe was in, because it wasn't really Joe, thank God, so once character Joe went in, and he was, he was doing his own show, especially now everybody's saying that whole thing was a performance of him being so, but we know because it wasn't even the real person. I just don't know how they're going to play it out to show, like, yeah, it wasn't the real person, because it was going to be, people are going to feel really tricked, so they got to be very careful about doing it, because they also have to be honest. So I still like the Scooby-Doo thing, everybody pull off their mask. I like that part, but I grew up on Scooby-Doo, so they, oh my gosh, a van just goes by that looks like the Scooby-Doo van, and I go, when I said that, it's so funny when that kind of stuff happens. So, however they have to play it out, they're going to have to show some of these people as being characters in the thing, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but so on the Joe's section of the thing, it was so much about, it's like exposing all the crime. It's like Donald told us ahead of time, oh, well, this is going to happen, 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 this is going to happen. And I was like, I knew that it was going to happen because I already had seen the stuff that he had been saying and stuff. So I already was like, this guy, they've got access. They're basing this stuff off Looking Glass and stuff. Like they can see things that we can't. And they know things. And that's how they say things ahead. And so so when all the shenanigans started, it was like, yeah, I saw that coming. And then when it kept going and going, it's like, what is the plan here, you guys? Like, fuck. But then on one hand, you start seeing how many more people, every fucking weird situation that would happen would wake up more people. I was like, fuck, I wish that a whole bunch of them would wake up at once. We didn't have to keep doing this. And it would just be, and what's so wacky about it is like how they think that this is the first time, like especially on this like government thing and stuff, where these people are like, oh yeah, well, this happened in 2016, folks. Like this has been every 4 fucking years. It's like Groundhog Day, man. And I don't want to get to 2028 and have them be like, here we got 20 more people. Oh yeah, this is the first time, guys. They're cheating. They're cheating. It's like, motherfuckers, they're cheating, oh Lord. So that's where you got to get a handle on your own frustration, your own, where you want to just be like scream and yell and stuff, because that's your soul, that's your darkness, that's your anger, that's your resentment, whatever it is. You got to figure it out. It's to me, I feel like it's a lot about like I want to control it and do it faster, because then I'll feel comfortable. I'll feel comfortable once we get to where we're going. But it's like, it's not all about me. I don't have charge down here. And so all these different souls all have, their time and stuff to play out. So everything's got to still play out. So over that part, it was really to show kind of like the corruption, the laundry system, infrastructure isn't being supported by the money. They were even to other countries, and they say, oh, this disaster happened, we got to send this money over there. It doesn't go to any of the stuff. It goes, it's just the system that they created to get us to give more money. Oh, we got a horrible disaster, everybody. Here's the website everybody can give to. This horrible, horrible thing. And then they create these agencies to fill their pocketbooks with all this money. And that's what's being so exposed right now with the cross and those guys are all being exposed like fucking crazy right now. If you aren't seeing any of that stuff, yeah, it's happening. And so, it's going to be more and more and more, because like if you haven't seen it, then everybody's not seen it. I can just say what the stuff I've seen. And so more and more about exposing things. And that's the part where I feel like so many of these people are going to be so good, like they haven't been paying attention to the last 4 years in the same way. And so when so it's like, they don't realize, like, they fucking keep on talking about, like, Donald's cheating. It's like, this is just so wacky. The stuff, like, their conversation, the stuff they're saying. But they do have their fucking crazy leaders. Jimmy Kimmel, I guess, apparently, has been crying on TV or something, saying he's leaving. It's like, go, dude. Yeah, I'd be scared if I was you, too. We already know you got some business to handle. Now, I don't know how dark your business is, but, dude, he has misled people so hard for so long. And that other guy, they were talking about him too, and his fucking bullshit. It's Anderson Cooper coming into my mind every time I try and see this guy. And I just heard him say his name, and I was like, oh, his name isn't in what I thought it was. But I don't know, all these left late night hosts and stuff, they're all very left-leaning, or I don't know what their political stance is. I don't even know if they know. They're puppets. They are ran, like their scripts are handed by people who have an agenda, and it's played out through the left side, that to get the people to be all in agreement with. And so and they just were taking it too far. Like there's lots of us in agreement with it for a long time. I think there was more Democrats for a long time than there was Republicans. It was like the Republicans were becoming like this dried up bunch of old Christians that just want everybody to be virgins when they get married or something. It was like the perception. It was like old fashioned, and so the progressive movement towards becoming more liberated as people and being more caring and compassionate. But they were taking that in people and trying to burn it down, kind of, and they were taking it in a dark direction. And that's how these 3-letter agencies and stuff figure out how to take your emotions and turn them. And so that's why everybody's all churned up and all fucked up, because it's all purposely been done like that. And so in this period of time, it had been that, showing all these different people and getting all these people to like look at it, their perspective, because it's their perspective that's about to blow up in their faces. And that's where you see all these people crying and stuff. Like, the stuff that they were being told, like, they really thought she was winning. And the bad thing is how they really believe all this dark stuff about Donald. It's like the stuff that they say and stuff, it's like, who told you this stuff? This is mental. But see, we had to get to that point too. Like, I don't know. I think they shifted a bit out of like CNN and MSNBC, and they went more with the influencers, because it seems that I'm hearing a lot about, and I had said about these people like with these big platforms all being exposed and stuff, and showing, and how all these people, and so that is happening. Like, there's something called a Ginger or something, and I had seen him. I've seen his videos before, but I never listened to him. He always just seemed kind of angry, but see, he had a group of people angry in one direction, but then all of a sudden he started going in a blue direction over this thing. A whole bunch of them did, because they are being paid. There's a whole bunch of things coming out with the money too, like how much she had to pay all these people. Beyonce, 100 million. Even that Stallion lady, who I never even heard of before. I mean, she has some following somewhere, but it's so weird, because there could be people who are so famous to some people and not famous to other people. But she paid her a huge amount of money. I don't even remember. But there's a list going around of who all she's paid and how much. It's like they weren't even supporting her. They're just being paid, because that's what all these people are, is just paid. It's on a different level, but yeah, they're just like, the celebrities and stuff. They're paid to influence us. And then they get to, go have an idea of going to work. And it's like they build this whole thing up. Like, but mostly what they want the celebrities for is not to make movies and shit like that. They want them to create idols so that we idolize them, and we do what they tell us. And then they are told by these other people to direct us in certain ways. And so, but then, when they start waking up, start being like, I don't want to do that. It's like, too bad. And so there's, everybody has all their own things they have to awaken to. So there's all different things playing out. And so on, because then there was a lot of exposing through the thing too, with the Hollywood connection. So all these different things, everything is to expose everything else. And so now this part, because those of us who know all this cheating has been going on anyways, knows who the other one won. And so there's a whole bunch of that talk. There's a whole bunch of that. It seems like Twitter or X starts some conversations. Like, it's the centralized location that like sends out this, and then all these people start talking about it or something. But that this 20 million people, everybody's like, well, where's these 20 million people? Like, this is supposed to be the one that just happened, where she really did get a lot of people coming out to support her because of the manipulation. But then you see how much fear, the fear tactics they used. And it's, I remember back when they were talking about subliminal messages being against the law, like they couldn't put those in commercials and stuff. I think they still do. But that is how easy our minds can be manipulated, and they know how to do all this stuff. So whatever they did to mess with all these people's minds, to create this much fear and tension, for all of these people to be doing themselves in and stuff, and be acting so wacky and going on public platforms and threatening people, like, they've just lost it. And but it's like it was created. And so that part, like what they're going to be exposing, like the money corruption thing and mishandling. And there's about to be a whole bunch more with the governors and Congress and all that stuff being exposed and being taken down and stuff. Some, I don't know, it can be kind of like that. In some communities, I kind of see it like a lynching almost, like the people in the places going after the official. I don't know, because they did say you won't be able. Some of these people are not gonna be able to walk down the roads. Like, but I don't think George Clooney, like, but some of these still do. You know, they still get a crowd of people coming up and wanting their autograph. But once these people see, yeah, because then the other people are like hostile, and then like George or any of these people coming out and saying some of the stuff they're saying, it's like, just shut the fuck up. You're only hurting yourself at this point. Just shut the fuck up. It's just like, we got bigger problems like than listening to your fucking bullshit. So whatever. But it's all this exposing people. Like, people have to expose themselves somehow. It's like the energy is this, at this period of time, Superman would not be able to be, we would all know it's Clark Kent. Like, everything has to be exposed for the truth. So that is the part we're on, of all of this stuff being exposed, and then these people's reaction and stuff. So we have all of the, so in this part, that is where I say, like, he's bringing all these people in. It's going to be just exposing. It's going to be mass exposing of things and situations and corruption and which this is sad. And so in Missouri, I think it is, a woman had a baby, and she was really getting into the postpartum depression, and the mom went over to try and talk to her, and the daughter was acting really hostile to her. So the mom was really being worried, so she called as she wanted a wellness check or something on her daughter. She was concerned her daughter was having a mental health crisis, and she has a new baby. So the cops show up, and they go in and hurt the baby. And the mom's like, what the fuck? I didn't know that. And the news isn't talking about it. But she's like, I wouldn't have been called. And that's, how I felt when I heard that guy out there arguing. I was like, fuck, man, I should just let him. It's hard when you see somebody who's out there struggling. It's like, fuck, but you don't know for sure if the people coming to save them are going to do them in. I don't know. It's sad. But there's going to be all these crazy things. And it's, it's like martyrs exposing the corruption. So there's going to be more and more of, this crazy stuff as everything keeps playing out. And it's going to keep exposing, because now the judge or whatever said, oh, they didn't do anything wrong. They're fine. They went on work leave or something, like they're on, like they can't come back to work, but they're not facing criminal charges. They didn't do anything. They didn't taser. They brought one of those people, the mental health counselor crisis people, to come. She didn't even get to talk to her. I just went in, boom. It's like, what the fuck, quick draw McGraw? What the hell's going on? And they said, well, she had a knife. And the mom's like, she weighs like 100 pounds. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And so anyways, there's going to be more and more showing with corruption, so that if you're, for the people who are new to that and they trust their county officials and stuff like that, shit's going to just keep blowing up and blowing up. The school stuff and everything. He's going to take, by the time he gets in, he's going to be taking a rake across everything. And then I don't know, there's going to be a thing, because with them talking about the 20 million extra, it's going to come out, that this side put him in. They've got to show this dictator kind of like placement, and so that kind of like would have to be revealed. And then it's going to be like, he's been, the last 4 years he should have had that time, but everything that was done in the last 4 years, they're going to try reversing a lot of that stuff to show the people. So I'm sure that some of the stuff that Joe did was like, oh, well, we're going to put $200 million in towards infrastructure, and we're going to move that money over there and stuff like that. But a lot of this money moving thing, because the numbers are so outrageous, that's where you can be like, okay, this is to expose it. And because if it was low-key being done under our noses, it would not be so dramatic. It gets more and more dramatic because they want you to notice. So these big ridiculous numbers are to get you to fucking pay attention. So I would think a lot of that will be reversed, and they will turn that and say, well, we're not putting that money there, we're not putting that money there. But all of those things will also be a part of the show, the changing, because we're going to change a lot over the resources and power company and stuff. And one thing too is, you know, it's kind of disappointing when you hear this shit, really, is I heard people talking about that Donald said that he's putting a thing on interest. So all the credit cards can't charge you interest, so you can get your credit cards paid off. And the people are all like excited about that. But the thing is like, but the banks and stuff are going down, and that's who owns those things. So that's all going away. So I don't know if it's just like he's trying to bring attention to it to get people to be like, fuck yeah. Because when we direct the energy, like, I want rid of these fucking credit cards. That's a good thing. God, I'll be so glad to pay those off. Then, so the people have already got their mindset in that direction. So when it goes, then it's an easier go, kind of. It's more like, well, now I don't have to pay them off. Now I don't have any. So, so I feel certain that we are going on the gold standard, because it's not like a big stretch. Like the goal, it's already happening. The BRICS nation is already afloat. It's already going. And I think ours, and probably Canada, there's probably a few places that are really big with a huge population that's created with so much division and so much ignorance where people have no idea what's going on, is this slower, like I think a lot of the smaller places have signed on. It's like out of 198 countries or something, 178 have signed on, which Donald said like a year and a half ago or something, maybe a year ago. He said, we're signing on to the BRICS. And then when you know, like, he's really the fella in charge of that, that when he's signing on to that, because the other people aren't going to sign on to it. One thing too is like, I see these blue people all freaking out. He's going to take us out of NATO. He's going to take us off of this. He's going to do that. And they all start freaking the fuck out. And it's like, but you can't get them to understand this because it's corrupt. You know, he's getting us out of the corruption. But they all start freaking out. So that's where things have to flip in their world to see the truth, because everything is not true what they think. So he's gonna, everything is gonna, I think, is got like a slow roll, kind of rolling it out slowly. But then there's gonna be a crunch. There's gonna be a quicker flip. But right now it is this rolling it out slowly and getting us to, but the BRICS is already on the golden standard and stuff. And then that's the whole thing with Vladimir, why he's been saying so much weird stuff and everything, because he's trying to help get us onto there. And so some of the places, once we go on there, that's nothing with the bankers. I mean, just listen to the stuff that Vladimir's saying. He even said something about we've been being run by a bunch of vampires and its time is up. And so that is, when you go back to this original family, they are vampires. They're bloodsuckers. They are bloodsuckers in multiple levels. They just suck the life out of us. So and then they have all their little Renfords or whatever running around, all their minions running around all over the place. And all those people are a bunch of dark energy, which there is so much, like, fuck. We were standing here, I think we were both looking over at the TV or something. There's something on. The dogs were right here. My son-in-law was standing here, and I was standing over here. And then, so I look over, and when I did, I saw this, like, old lady, this, like, creepy old lady standing here with us watching. I was like, okay. I was like, it was so creepy. And I was just like, fuck, we just got, there's things around, all around us. It's like, and then all of a sudden you catch a quick glimpse, and it's like, oh, don't want to look over there. So, but anyway, she wasn't doing anything. She was just watching. She's probably just a ghost lady, and she's like, oh, what's on the TV? But anyway, so the, I can see her so perfect right now. As soon as something comes into your head, like I can see her. Only I don't see her standing here now. I can see her standing right there. It's like their energy, man, getting her head. So, anyways, this is gonna start popping off because things are gonna start really changing because we are gonna go on the bricks, and that is the collapse of the money. And I have seen other people now saying, get away from the. I know Bitcoin is a big one. Now, I think that one is for sure going to go down because of how much it was used to do really, really bad things. Like, the Red Room thing is real. And there's stuff being exposed about that right now, too. What was it? It was something so small and so low-key. It was like, oh, my God, you guys have no idea what's coming. And it was a bust of something, because the Red Rooms are just like, if you don't know what they are, it's there's a movie, when you travel around and you go to hostels, there are places that you can stay for really cheap. So when you're young and you're traveling around, you can go there and you can bunk up. Sometimes you can have rooms. Sometimes you just are in like a bunkhouse. They're all different. And but it's cheap ways to stay to travel when you're young. So just go watch that movie. There's three. It's a 3 series if you can find it, because supposedly it was pulled somewhere and that they won't show it anymore. But that is what it is. That's the rooms, and they're all over the place. And the people who have the coins, they get to pay to choose, like, oh yeah, I would like to see them weld them together, weld their eyes shut, skin them alive, like these really atrocities, like the most darkest shit you can fucking think of. And they do it to lots of young people, but even little kids. And the people, like, so anyways, that coin, I think, is going to go down because of the severity of what it's been involved in. The energy it carries, it's got nowhere to go. It was used in a very dark way, so I say it's going to crash hard. And I know there's a lot of people who keep thinking, the only thing I know about, because I hear people talking about the XRP, which I don't know really what that is. I think it's kind of like, it's this thing that we're going to is like something about blockchain, and I do think it's something about XRP, and something about some quantum money system thing. But the thing is that there's something that the money is based on. It's a solid thing. So you can't oversell. Like, money is only worth, like, if you have a chunk of gold and the gold has the value of $5,000 an ounce, that's how much everybody's is the same. And then the only way that changes is the value of what the gold is used for. So if all of a sudden, something with gold and everybody wants more gold, then your gold goes up. And so then your gold could be worth 5,000, it could go from 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, depends on what it is that they have. And then that raises the value. So that's the only way it can value, is real things, not marketing strategies and all of their fucking bullshit where it's all nonsense, and they're doing it with paper and petroleum and stuff. But so now it's going to be based like silver, gold, copper, as real solid things, and whatever that has value. So if it's copper, like if you decide, well, I'm going to invest in copper, to me, the silver, and the thing I've heard is that there's a lot of things that are going to be made from silver coming up in the future with the new technologies. So to me, it seems like a really good investment, because it's so low right now that most of us can get in on board. And then once it starts going up, then we've got something to really have, like, that we do, it's yours. And so it's like your own fortune. You're creating your own fortune. And you really do have the opportunity to do it now. You can buy into gold, but it costs a lot. You know, like if you're somebody who has a lot of money and you can buy a lot of gold, then fuck yeah, you can buy a lot of gold. And gold will always go up. And I think it's even been going up lately. But it's expensive. It's like 5,000 an ounce or something, I think. Maybe 3,000. But anyways, it keeps going up too. And then there's copper, but copper's pretty expensive. But, you know, I mean, you can also bank on that they're probably going to have to put copper piping back into everybody's houses. So maybe like super smart to invest into copper. And I don't even know how. Like I would, you know, go down and buy a fucking shit ton of copper and then keep it and then sell it. And like when it becomes valuable, I don't know. Because when you do gold or silver, you just get coins. I don't know if they've got copper coins, but that's what pennies were. So you had gold, you had, I think all of the coins were silver and copper. Because the silver, I don't know, there could have been gold ones too, but how they used to be, like when you got an ounce of silver, that was worth, you know, how much ever the silver was worth. And then $50, a half ounce. And then, Stella, I am doing this. Stop it. Come over here. No, you already went outside. Knock it off. This is like attitude, Judy attitude here. Stella, no, I'm doing this, and you are going to wait a minute until I'm done. Sorry. You're going to have to wait. You already went outside. Fucking, we're up all night doing this shit. I don't know. I know she's really uncomfortable. I know the dogs are so all on edge, too. I kept being like, man, the way they would just jump up and I'll start barking and be like, are we about to have a fucking earthquake? Man, my elbow is still not better. What the fuck, man? Oh my God. Stella, knock it off. The whole symphony going with her tail and the bells, and she's got the percussion and the bells. Like she's all jamming back there. Just please come and lay down. Oh, so she's gonna circle back, go back over there. No, I told you what I want to do. Oh, she's gonna do a circle right there, man. She's gonna lay down for a minute until she starts bitching again. I know she's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable as fuck. And I know the fucking rain is something with the atmosphere or something that makes you sore or something. And plus the goddamn chemicals. And my son-in-law's definitely noticing, like, he definitely had a big change in his stuff since he's been here. He's like, fuck, the sneezing. And it's like, I know. And that is the coughing, the headache, the runny nose, the sneezing, and the stomach flu thing. It's just like, it's so weird. And it goes in waves. Like you just be like, start feeling better. Like I feel like the headache part is like, and I was thinking, man, if I didn't do all this detoxing all the time, I bet you I would be so fucking sick. Because to me, I just saw somebody had a whole list of all these things that are really important for you to have, I guess. And so I looked at the list and I was like, I take all those every single day except for Shilajit. But the moringa, burdock root, I don't remember the whole list, but all of those things that I take those every day. And oh yeah, and my son-in-law, the first day after he had cleared all of that stuff and all that mold and all that stuff, he was breathing it in, and the next morning he came out, he was just so congested. And so I said, well, here, try the ginger elixir. It's supposed to really be magical. So I had given him a spoonful and Stella a spoonful of that. And he said, yeah, he felt way better. So the natural stuff really, it has the stuff we need. They sell us things that we don't need that causes our body to get more out of balance or something. And that's just, all it was just local honey, and then you chop up the ginger, and you leave the skin on it and everything. You don't take the skin off or anything. You just put the ginger in the jar, and then you put a top over it, and then you just put it in the cabinet. And I've shaked it a few times, but you just put it in there, and it just ferments, and it just turns into, it's Well, I think you could probably drink it and get drunk, but it's like moonshine or something. You only take a little bit, and then it's all of this properties from the ginger. Ginger has a lot of stuff, and so, anyways, it does those when those things go into your body, all these antibodies, antimicrobials, and and it does everything your body needs, then it really does start making you feel better. But they've got everybody so mixed up, thinking that medical is really the progressive, the smart people's way. And that's why there's so many with these like academics and people like, we're the smart ones. You guys are so stupid. We're the smart ones. It's like they're about to find out what smart really is all about, because they are thinking something different about smartness. Because I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, so that's what I would say. Like right now is it's kind of like prepping for something that's about to go, like the pep rally or something. Like, oh, here's our players. And the players come running out like, hey, here we are. And they pull them out on stage. It's like, oh, look at him, all the good-looking people up there he's got. They're all just like, is one thing too about people is like when they look at good-looking people, it just makes them happy. It just makes them happy. Like, I trust them. They're good-looking. So it's just funny because it will. But I do think it is at this time. It's more like the good-looking people are going to be like, because they're good people and their good looks shine from their good soul shining through. We'll see. I really think a lot. I don't think a lot of this next part is going to be him pulling people in to expose them. I think this is really people who are going to be taking us in a new direction. So it's going to keep going in that way, but I don't know, I mean, these people keep wanting to have Joe step down, but this kind of stuff is really going to start, and maybe that's why they keep doing this, like they're just trying to override Joe and get Kamala in there. Then maybe that's where, Joe's going to suddenly expose something or something. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's going to keep being stuff. And it can be with the money at any time, because it still seems like, I heard that a long time ago, like Juan had said, the money's got to go down under Joe. That's only, that's what's got to go. And it's drug out this far, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to play it out, because I don't know, because they could just, just tell us like how corrupt the dollar was. We're leaving it, going on BRICS. Thank God for Trump. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I just know we're going on to this gold standard, and the gold standard has to do with the Nisar Gasar. It has to do with so many different things. That's why it's going to be, I have so many people argue with me too. I said in this video, I said, you have all these people who are freaking out, I don't know, some negative thing that they say about Trump or whatever, and they're all freaking out, and I try and get people to be like, he's doing a lot of good things, but people just start arguing with you. And I said, I'm just excited because Social Security is about to like triple or something. And then all these people, no, it's not. 2025 said it's being cut. He's taking away all that. You can't get it until you're 69 now. And then some people were like, oh, well, if you get excited about a 2.5 increase, it's far from triple. It's like, you guys are, they're all, it's weird. That's what perspective is like. It's like you're looking over here, but it's way out here. They say you got to look out further, but yeah, it goes with the thing. And he has said stuff like the things he's gonna do is he's going to increase some kind of money things for families, because he wants to get more family units back being family units, more people at home, more, and teaching their kids and taking care of their kids. So there's going to be a lot of incentives for parents to be home and stuff like that. So there's going to be money coming in that direction. And there's going to be a lot of money that are going to go to the vets, because those men and women have been fucked over by the system hard. And so there's going to be a lot of money that's going to go into gratitude towards these people that were willing to put themselves aside for their country. So there's going to be a lot of money that's going to go to them. The older people, Social Security and stuff. I'm on Social Security at a young age because of getting a brain injury. But the Social Security for the people is going to go way up because they've all had to struggle. Like there's been such a long struggle for that group of people, even though a lot of the people who carried the struggle in the beginning aren't here anymore because they were like eating cat food and shit. You know, what is really corrupt too about this system is that even the small amount of money that they were started giving these people for their Social Security, because they didn't even have high-paying jobs back then. Like people had jobs where they're making $2 an hour and shit. So they get these scrapping Social Security money, and then they take it all in their meds, in their insurance and stuff. So there's a huge thing going. Like some of these old people are like eating cat food. They're barely surviving. It's just a whole sad thing, and that's why he started being like right away. Any people who want to take care of the elderly or any older person that you love, it doesn't have to just be your parents. It could be an aunt, an uncle, just a neighbor or something. Somebody, people who are willing to step up for that. He's going to pay that. So that's going to be where people are going to be paid for that. So there's going to be all this money that's going to be going back into older people. So it's like the people who want to do the work, the people who want to do those things will get paid for it. But then there's also going to be a lot of different incentive programs for businesses, for guys to get their own businesses off, started. So there's going to be a lot of incentives and help for that. So I think see, like, because when you look at the younger kids, it's like they've suffered a lot, but it's not like they're gonna just give them money. Maybe it'll come in programs or something, like fun things or something to unprogram, to deprogram them. I don't know. There will be something that will go back, but it's not going to be like they're just handing them all a bank account. I don't think they're going to. But there's going to be a lot of money going back into society. And I think, people who want to get involved in building their communities up, like rec centers and stuff like that, where people have meeting places, teachers can have places to come and teach, all different kinds of things, kind of like adult ed almost, where you have like a wide variety of things that you can go in and learn. And so a place where that can occur, but it's also a place where kids can hang out safe instead of malls. About consumer. Yeah, it did go from fucking rec centers to malls. That's true. But go back to the rec centers where they're in there doing stuff that is more better for them, playing sports or learning things or hanging out with peer groups, maybe have a movie section where you can go to the movies. You have dance things where they can go in and hang out with their friends and dance. But everything's going to be so much more wholesome. Everything's going to be so much more, where you don't have to be dirty and nasty and show, you don't have, it's going to be cleaning up the filth, kind of like, because it's like these kids were being drug into it, where it's like, it's like a part of what they think is normal. And because they don't have any counterbalance. So now the counterbalance is going to come from behind, kind of, and start bringing them. But then from the front direction, they're going to start seeing people living different, walking a different walk. People's attitudes are going to change. There's not going to be so much anger and hostility when people are doing more for themselves and taking better care of themselves. So there's going to be a lot of changes in the energy. But I think that's where I see where they're going to really be putting the money in to communities, is people who want to build up the communities, vets, kids, parents, and older people. And then, but there's going to be lots of money, and I don't know if there will be certain things, like if we will have like certain payouts, like everybody, kind of like class action suits, like they're going to talk about certain cases, and everybody who has any kind of thing can sign on and say, that they were affected. And then, and maybe we have to show, I don't know how it's going to go down, but there will be some kind of way that there will be money going back, because I think there's going to be money going back to the kids in the system, kids that were taken out of their homes at a young age and put into the system. I think they all have like a class action lawsuit coming. There's going to be a lot. And I would think those things are going to be taking down these businesses, but it's also going to be the way of humanity receiving of the abundance turning the other direction, the money to go back towards the people for what's happened to them. So anyways, we just got to see, because there's going to be kids that, there could be a class action suit over the bullying. What was that? Oh, yeah, because I had a couple of Lifetime movies come on that were the ones where they made, that was one thing about Lifetime movies before. They were always showing true stories and always showing the stories that were legislature. They changed the legislature from these different situations. And one was, because I just saw two. One was, what was I just talking about? Because one was something with that. The people with the, see, I was the people. The people, I don't know if I can see it though. Okay, so if you go back from the money, the people, the corruption, this is always showing all the fucking corruption. I keep getting them both where I can't see it clear. So, I don't know. But it's always weird when this stuff comes into the thing and it's like, look, this is so pertinent, what's going on in the world. Oh, was it a church thing? Was it something about the stuff being exposed or something? It's like, oh my gosh, this stuff is being exposed right now. I can't remember what it was, whatever I was even talking about. So anyways, it's going to keep going in this direction, and money's going to, however it goes, they're going to crash the economy, which is going to be a big thing too. So many people, because it's going to be like, we just can't win. We just can't win. It's just going to be another slap in the face. And, and they've got big major fires going all over the place too. And then you've got the Democrat governors freaking the fuck out, and, like this Ferguson, like coming out of fucking nowhere. I didn't even know we were off Inslee yet. Now we got fucking Ferguson out just fucking talking nonsense. And I would hope that he's somebody who's coming in to bring this stuff to the surface, and it's to really expose things. But it seems like that some of these governors, it's like almost like have us trapped or something. It's like, fuck, man, you're gonna do this shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So whatever it was I heard him saying, I was like, fuck, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. This place is like, fuck. But that's the power of the blue. That's the power of the bankers, the corporations and stuff. That's, they own it all. And so anyways, that's going to keep on being exposing. The money's going to keep crashing. It's going to keep turning us in this other direction. And it's just kind of like a slow turn. But there's going to be some things that are going to be like abrupt. They're going to be like, we're going to go this way now. And it's kind of like the people is what is kind of like the slower thing. Like I see the sails, like a sailboat or something. So I don't know if it's like when you turn, if it takes it a minute for all of it to start working and going in another direction, when the sails turn. So, because that's what we're in. It's like going in one direction and the sails turn, and then we go in that direction. But it's like the people are the sails, so they don't all turn as fast as the stuff turns. So it's kind of like they are turning, but the stuff's turning. So those of us who are like, the stuff's turning. So there's those of us who have been, awake and paying attention, I would just say it's more like when you feel like more, when you've been in observation or more riding the wave, like using the energy for your benefit, then your awareness, because there's other people who are really caught up in the dramas and stuff. And so they're the ones that are the resistance, kind of. So when it changes, then we're all going to be like all for it, but they're going to be the slowness of how things change. So it's all of them having to change. But for some of us, it's going to start being like, oh, good, good, good. Like we're going to keep on being able to catch on to those waves, because already, like, the stuff to me is like, ugh, I feel so much better just to, seeing all these things. And I don't give a shit what these other people are saying. They have no clue. And I've definitely seen enough playing out that I'm very comfortable in what I see. And and these other people, when I hear people saying other things and stuff, I just always think that they pay attention, or they're stuck on a fear or whatever. It's not, they don't have the full view. I just think you have to look into it more, and it all goes together. The money, the sickness, the government, the agencies, the manipulation, and it's a completely false reality that was created for us to exist in, and it all has to fall apart so that we can create a new one. So, that's why everything is all falling apart. It's going to keep falling apart. It's not going to go back. And it's not, to me, it's not anything that, you need to worry about unless you're associated with some of that stuff. You need to let it go, because it's going to drag you down with it and go down with the sinking ship. And you got to keep letting it go. And, I guess there is this part too where, I knew there was going to be some weird shit over the blue in the strip, because it was like the people, I don't know, it was very strange. It was like they were having people stand up for these things, but they didn't know what they were saying. So now it's like all these things coming together where people are starting to realize, like I saw somebody saying, if you are gay, supporting the people that want to kill you makes no sense. And so it's kind of like for people to start realizing it's not just driven to be a good person. Like, I've got to be a good person. I've got to support this and support that. No, it's going to be like a shifting out of that, kind of to be the real thing. Like, this matters, not just, it's I don't know how to explain it, but there's something different about it. And maybe you guys already see it too, but I can see it, this shift. But anyways, I keep getting stuck, like start to see it and then not be able to see something. So, like, forgetting what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about it and I'm seeing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck am I talking about? I swear to God, I think it's the energy too. The sleeping, man, everything is so weird. It's so intense. And yeah, okay, so it is like that for the people. Like, it's all the awareness of different things. So, like, when you have an awareness of the energy and how intense it is and stuff, like, that's like one group, one frequency group or something. Then there's other frequency groups that have no awareness of this, or just aware of that, or whatever. But then even in every frequency group, there still is all the different things that have to play out. So it's how the frequency is created. It's not just one thing. So all of these things create the frequency. So there's all these different frequencies and different things playing out. And that is to me is why it feels so chaotic, because there's so much energy and so much energy shifting on the planet, and that is why it feels like super intense and chaotic. But I think once this thing, God, my stomach's growling like crazy. Once this thing happens and turns, I think that the energy is going to become, well, yeah, I don't know. It's almost like we'll be able to find everything micro, macro, like portals are holes in the frequency. It's almost like there will be spaces where you can not feel the intensity or something, but there's going to be a lot of intense energetic surges. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's just say, for instance, like things go calm and everybody, is like licking their wounds or something, then another wound comes in. Another big thing is going to come in, and that's going to put in a whole nother wave of like, oh my God, and all this, like, oh my God, how did I not know? How did I? It's just a whole thing. So it will go like, kind of like that, like these waves of energy. And that is like, so there will be like these spaces where everything will feel really good and calm and stuff. There will be definitely a lot of time where it is you have to find your own peace. And I think that is why so many people who were at these different stages of awakening is been more going towards that direction, meditating, how to find peace, breathing, and all that stuff, because you're going to really need it through some of these intense energetic surges as the mass population experiences certain things. So it's going to really be intense energy, and that is where, to be able to, I don't know, to me, like, when I'm going around here and I'm feeling like, fuck, man, it's almost like you're super anxious, but but I can keep being like, well, it's not coming from in me. It's the energy around. It's the energy around, and I don't know how far. I don't know how far, like, probably each of us can feel different of how far we can feel out energy and how it affects the people around us and stuff. And then just like, because right now we've got like a ping pong. It's like we're fucking in a, what is that thing called? It's like championship round or something of this. It was like everybody's playing it at once. Like it's all this brrr. So it's, that energy is just super, super intense for each person to, have their own internal battle. And then it grows and grows, but then on the micro macros, like this is internal battle between the sun and the earth and all of the energies. It's like this energetic battle. And so that is where you can be like, oh, okay, well, we're in the middle of this spiritual, energetic battle. And that's why I feel so intense. And this intensity, like if it bothers you, then that's where you gotta be like, it depends on your living situation. You may need time to yourself. You may need time to go walk around the trees, because there's a whole thing about the trees being very healing towards us and communicating with us. And some people get a lot of good effects by standing on the ground and taking their shoes off. And sometimes if you stand there like a half hour or something, like it resets your charging. Like I could go out there, probably, it was so fucking wet, but I could go out there probably and just stand there. I've done it before for a headache. Go out and stand and the headache go away. So, and like I said before, there's something about the streams. If you go out and you sit by running water, and there's something about the frequency being really healing about that. So those are all different things, that breathing techniques, releasing energy, all of that kind of stuff. Something is totally attacking my chest. Hold on. Man. Fuck. One thing, though, I feel like I'm really coughing out a lot of gunk out of my lungs. So, and you've got whatever they're trying to put in there to give us pneumonia. So the coughing's good. You want to cough the shit out. You don't want to have all that stuff sitting in there, because we're breathing in so much infiltrates, so much bullshit. I bet you there's going to be such an increase of lung CA here real quick. I bet we're going to all of a sudden start hearing, oh my God, these young people, all these people, and still it'll be like, oh, it's like, when are you going to stop and start questioning, where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? How is this happening? What's different? Why did kids used to be able to be fine, and now all of a sudden they're all sick? And so it's also one big thing that RFK is trying to really make a point about too. So anyways, but you want to cough out. And I know when, I mean, to me, luckily I smoke, because then I don't know, it does something to help with the coughing, but it helps get that stuff. And I know that that is why they don't want people smoking weed or cigarettes. There's a whole nother thing too coming out with something with the nicotine, and it's almost like it's good for you. Like there's certain things that are good, like your body needs them, and a lot of them grow as plants. And so those things kind of bind to the infiltrates that you want out. So when you smoke in that stuff, and it puts, that's like the guardians of your lungs, and then the infiltrates you breathe in come in, the chemicals, the toxins, the bots, you breathe them in and they get in there. Then the plant like gets around them, and then you start coughing and moving that stuff out. So you so anyways, that it's good. You want to have it. To me, because just having all the infiltrates in there, they can go in there and they can sit and be heavy, and it can feel like, oh, there's nothing, but it can be in there deep, and you don't realize, like, you've got like a kind of like a like a sewer, kind of like a sewer system in your lungs. So you have this like a sewer system at the bottom with just all this junk, and it's just like holding it down there. And that is where people start getting sick. So that is why you want to cough it out, and it can be hard if you don't have anything. And that is, to me, do something that makes you cough. Like sometimes jogging in place, doing oh yeah, because doing jumping jacks is really good too, because you do all the movements. You do a lot of movements. And so doing some of that stuff gets that energy in your lungs moving around. It can help you cough it out. But I think, it's important to keep your lungs moving, your blood moving, everything moving. And so, yeah, I don't think it's good to just have your lungs just be sitting there, not coughing or being stagnant, when there's this much infiltrates that we're breathing in. And we know there's infiltrates because the sky's not the same color, that everybody's getting sick. It's already been told, we already know, because there's been analysis done on, they've done analysis of the air, the soil, all that. Like, it's real. They really are dumping all these chemicals on us that are giving us sickness, and serious sicknesses. And that's why they have all these things, oh, we'll save you. But it's all fucking bullshit. So, how long have I been talking? I'm sitting here like, all I keep going through my head, I just keep thinking about food. I've got so many different things going through my head of like, that sounds good, oh, that sounds good, that sounds good. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's just making my stomach growl more. So, anyways, I'm gonna go eat some cookies probably. I'm not gonna go make all this stuff they said. Yesterday, what was it I made? Oh, I made a quiche yesterday. It was really good. And it was asparagus, cheese, and onion, and I had goat cheese, and let's see, what did I put? I put goat cheese, cheddar cheese, onion. I used canned asparagus. I had this can of asparagus, and I was like, oh, I could make a quiche with that. And I liked it better than the fresh, because sometimes when you make the stuff with fresh broccoli, fresh asparagus, you make a quiche, it gets all that liquid, and this didn't do that. It was such a perfect texture. And so it was cheddar cheese, egg. I did 8 eggs, and then I don't know, like out of a block of cheese, it was this big. I used like about this much of the cheese. So like a third of a block of a 1 pounder, and then a crumble of goat cheese, and then honey Dijon mustard, because he was saying, oh, that he could taste that. He said it was so good. Was there something else? In 1 can of asparagus, 1 onion, and I cut it up and let the onion cook in it. I liked it. It has a different flavor when it does that. Then I don't know, because you could add bacon or salt, if you like to eat meat and stuff. But can't think if it seemed like there was some other thing I put in it too, some other cheese or something. I don't remember. But if you're looking for a recipe, it was good. So I don't know what I'm going to make today. I was thinking about making fritters or something. And then I got this bourbon cheese or something, and a bunch of squash and stuff. There's a whole bunch of recipes. I keep seeing all these recipes. They must not be vegan because they're using this cheese, but a lot of vegetarian ones. There's a huge wave now of bean eaters. And that's why I've been saying for a long, long time, beans have so much nutrition. That's why I just shifted into eating beans for all the time. And they have all the stuff like you need. But now there's so many people who are shifting into that, and so many good recipes. So I might go look up some of those or something, make something. But today I should have a bathroom again, so that's exciting. And who knows what's going to be going on in the bigger scheme of things. Things are going to keep going. Things are going to keep playing out, and just keep, to me, I don't know, it's kind of surprising sometimes when you see some of these people who seem like they're awake, but they're so going in such a different direction. To me, there's so much positive things happening. This is so exciting. Things are going to keep going in this positive way because that's the way we're going. And all these other people, I don't know, it's their stuff to work out, whatever they're seeing, whatever they're feeling. And to me, it's not like you have to believe it because I say it. Just start paying attention to things and then think in other perspectives. Think outside the box and start putting all the pieces together. And you start seeing a different picture than what other people are seeing. So anyways, just remember what you're doing here, because it's the most important thing, is working on yourself, learning to love yourself, to love everyone, and how to have a loving day. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.